BTL continues on Sports Radio 810, the RacinBoys. And Kirk join us after a big weekend at Kansas Speedway. Full disclosure, RacinBoys, you ready for this one? You guys ready? How are you today? Everything good?
Ready. Doing great, Kevin.
Go ahead.
Full disclosure, when I was growing up in my house at 61st and Knoll in Mission, the only soap we had in our house was Zest.
Yes.
I didn't even know they still made it.
Well, now you do. After Matt Kenseth won yesterday,
How
now
many
everybody
times
knows.
How many times has he been in the Zest car this year?
I don't remember any other
I don't either.
races with Zest. But you know what? I was a Zest kid myself when I was growing up. So, right?
Zestfully Clean. I don't know that there was another soap. There was Zest and there was Dove, and Dove was for girls, and so we had Zest.
Well, to give you an example of that, I was standing in the garage area before the race yesterday, and somebody was asking me, a driver just walked by, nobody was paying attention to him, and had his back to me, and they asked me, who is that wearing that Zest uniform? And I'm looking at, I can't really tell. He just was kind of walking by himself, and it was Matt Kenseth.
Right.
Well, there was this other soap a long time ago called Life Boy, but it was actually Life Buoy, wasn't it? B-U-O-Y, because it floated. It was like a buoy on the water. The soap floated.
I don't remember that one.
They still
Remember
said Life Boy, though, didn't they, Kevin?
Well, we called it Life Boy, but it was actually spelled like Life Buoy, wasn't it?
I think you're right about that, as I recall.
There's
It wasn't spelled B-O-Y. That's right.
I know this is awful to say. I kind of want to go buy some Zest and see what it was like. It's been so long since I've showered with Zest, I don't remember.
Zestfully Clean.
Zestfully Clean. I'm going to get Zestfully Clean. I'm going to go to the store and get some Zest.
Well, what a day yesterday for the Zest car, huh?
And you know what? If you guys aren't careful here, I might wash your mouths out with Zest. That happened to me a time or two when I was a kid.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Zestfully clean.
Nice.
You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
There you go.
Right.
Matt Kenseth, the clean man from Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Boy, he's got going on 2 wins out of the last 3, and he's the guy nobody talks about. But all he does is win races, and he's won a championship.
So much for a lame duck team as well, right?
Well, he's too far back to win the thing, right?
I think he is.
He's out of it when it comes for the chase for the championship. But
Yeah.
still, how easy would it have been for him to give up knowing that he's going to Joe Gibbs Racing? I mean, really. Stand up and not a lame duck team, and I think I like that about Matt Kenseth.
Well,
he's still out there trying to win races for this team that he knows that he's no longer going to be with. That's pretty good.
The second biggest winner yesterday had to be Jimmy Johnson, who wound up losing no ground. He's right where he was, and that's probably not what he wanted going in, but in light of the fact the accident that he had and the save that he had, pretty darn good that he didn't lose any ground, right?
That is the big story of the day. I would agree with you about that. Matt Kenseth a lot of times gets overshadowed, but definitely save by a championship team. You want to find out how champions are made? Well, they made the call originally, we're going to take this into the garage. When he backed that car into the wall, you're thinking with that car wadded up, there is no chance that they can get that fixed out on pit road. And Chad Knaus originally called for that car to be taken to the garage. Everybody said, wait a minute, let's bring it down on pit road and see if we can fix it right now. Here's Jimmy Johnson's take on how everything went during the day.
That's a good day. I'm still kicking myself, though, because the race for me wants to think of what could have been with a car that wasn't crashed. And to be truthful, I was just trying to work the 56 over, and I'd caught him. He bobbled a little through 3 and 4, and when his car moved, I jumped in the gas real hard to try to close up on him. And as soon as I did that, mine stepped out, and around it went.
A lot of great drivers had troubles out there. Tony Stewart was another one that was able to rally back from a spin and finish in 5th place. But Chad Knaus, to me, is the big hero. He's the crew chief that made that call, bring it down on pit road. Chad Knaus's take on how they saved themselves a chance to still win a 6th championship.
To come back the way we did, I think it speaks volumes about the way that Ron Malik and the crew guys do to repair these race cars and the way that they're assembled initially. So, unfortunately we had that problem. I really think we had a car that could have possibly won the race. Obviously we led a lot. Unfortunately got caught in that caution and lost that lap, and were able to get the wave around. But it was a good day for us. I think we could have been even better yet, but unfortunately we weren't able to get it full of fuel on that one pit stop, so we had to come back in. But guys really did a fantastic job. Couldn't be prouder of Jimmy. It's real easy for a driver to lose his confidence and not go back out there and drive as hard as what he needs to, and that just shows that Jimmy is the best out there. To be able to drive this race car and come back from that is pretty impressive.
There was absolutely zero panic. Everybody knew what to do when they got it down on pit road. Nobody was jumping up and down on top of the car or anything, but everybody knew what to do to get that car back
Let's
out.
be fair, though. If they don't catch that that caution on the restart. They only go a lap or two after the first stint of repairs. They stay on the lead lap. They come in 3 times. They get the car worked over pretty good, but not quite ready to go. But then they have a quick caution. I believe it was for Bobby Labonte, who spun out off of turn 4. And that was like a lap or two after they went back to green. If that caution doesn't come out, we probably aren't talking about Jimmy Johnson having the great point day that he had yesterday. But fortunately enough for him, that caution came out. It gave him an opportunity to come back in 3 more times, maybe 4. So they had at least 4 or at least 6 or 7 times to come in the pits to repair that car. I don't think we'd be talking about the rally back if they don't have that caution by Bobby Labonte.
And we wouldn't be talking about it if they'd immediately gone to the garage area.
No, I agree with that,
it's
too.
over.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, too.
That Chad Knaus is an amazing winner. I'm sorry. I know Jimmy's a great driver. That's
Right.
a great combination, those 2 guys. I'm watching the pre-race yesterday on ESPN, and they've got Knaus on there. And, dude, he just exudes that he's a winner. You can tell he's really smart.
Calm.
He really knows what he's doing.
Calm.
They have he has a tremendous advantage over a lot of the other crew chiefs, doesn't he?
Yeah, and
I mean, he's really better than all of them.
there is no doubt about it. I mean, he's so innovative. He thinks outside the box, and he never gives up. And above and beyond why I think this is such a big deal yesterday, there's no doubt that what they did yesterday got in everybody else's minds, including Brad Keselowski, who's still 7 points ahead. I mean, you turn around and look what those guys did to save their day and save their championship. That's got to have a psychological impact.
I'm not sure that's going to be that big a psychological damage to those guys. I mean, let's face it. Matt Kenseth won the race. Brad Keselowski still holds the point lead. So
Not for long.
Well, I'm not so sure that Jimmy's going to pull this out.
I'll give you the field. I'll take Jimmy.
Well, that's an easy bet. Obviously.
It's not. He's in second. You were just boasting that Brad's in first.
He is in first.
Okay, I'll take number 2 and give you the field.
Okay, I'll
There's
take it.
4 races
I'll
left,
take it.
all right?
I'll take it.
I'm
But there's
Dixon's-
really only 4 cars. So you can't take the field. You've got to take the 3 other guys that are right there.
That's the field. 3's the field. Whatever you want to call the field, that's fine. I'll give you all of them.
I mean, really, Jimmy Johnson, Denny Hamlin, Clint Boyer are the only guys that really have a realistic chance. Casey Kane, maybe he's 30 points out, but you look at Clint Boyer, realistically going into this final race at Martinsville, these final 3 races last year, I think Tony Stewart was 24 points out going into these final 3 races. Clint Boyer's 25.
Lunch.
Huh?
We're going to bet lunch for 6
6.
at Dixon's Chili.
Why the number 6?
Well, because I can put 4 in my car and drive over there.
Oh, I see.
And meet you and Kirk.
Oh, you have to have some company when you come in and hang out with the racing.
I want to hit your wallet, brother.
Oh, is that right? All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm not scared.
All right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I lose, I'll bring Lebo with me, and you guys can bring 4 guys.
All right, fair enough.
Fair enough?
We'll bring Todd Surprise with us, and we'll find somebody else that wants a free meal.
I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that.
All right.
I am not getting involved in that. But Kevin's going to
Well,
be.
we understand
right
that you're
on
so
this
far
one.
behind in all your wagers, Kirk, that
yeah,
you don't want
I'm
any
not-
part of this.
Right,
I'm
right.
too far back now. No.
How many Dixon's Chilies you still owe me?
Well, we paid off on one. That's all I remember.
I think you owe him one more. I believe there's another one there.
One more?
There's another
or
one.
2, maybe.
Well, how can
all
you?
right, so
how
Scott
can-
and I have a deal here, and Kirk, you get a free lunch no matter what.
All right.
Right.
I'll go for that. But how
Okay,
can
there's-
you go against Jimmy Johnson at this
Can't.
point after what happened yesterday? I mean, you're talking about the 3 other guys that's really got a shot at this thing, have never won championships. Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, we all know what happened 2 years ago there. He didn't have as good a day as what he lost ground yesterday. And then Clint Boyer, who had a good run, but it wasn't good enough. I mean, you look at this thing, we're down to it now. Martinsville has been Jimmy Johnson's playground here the last several
Huge
years.
wild
I mean,
card
he is,
this weekend, though.
He
Huge.
always does well at that racetrack. And, I mean, with everything that went on yesterday, to me, it's Jimmy Johnson's championship to lose at this point.
Is Casey Kane alive? He's 30 back.
I say
Too
not.
far?
I say not.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at what Tony did last year. Again, going into Martinsville, 24 points behind, and the streak that he had, winning 5 of those final 10 races. It can be done, but I'm not sure that Casey Kane can do what Tony did last year. And I'm not even sure that Clint Boyer can do it, but he has been one of the hottest drivers throughout the chase for the championship. So realistically, you got to give him a chance. But I think it's really down to Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson, and Denny Hamlin at this point.
All right, let's talk about Brad Keselowski. Do you guys like his chances?
I did.
The thing he's going to win championships. in his career. What I like about him, he's got this edgy personality, and he's always a great quote. And he is in a car that, with the team owner, Roger Penske's never won a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship. He's won tons of IndyCar championships. But
He's never won any NASCAR championship.
He's not won any NASCAR championships. But with Brad Keselowski behind the wheel, they're bringing Joey Logano over next year. I think it's only a matter of time before Keselowski gets it done. What is that old adage? You have to lose one before you win them. And I think Keselowski's in a position where he'll get close, but it just won't be enough.
I'm going to stay with my pick earlier this year. I think Keselowski's going to pull this out. I think Jimmy could have a tough day at Martinsville. I know he gets around there great. He's won races there, and we've seen some great battles between him and Jeff Gordon. But I will tell you that I think Brad Keselowski's up for the occasion. I think he's going to be able to hold on to this.
Yeah. Hey, let's find out how Matt Kenseth, how did he win this race? Because he was so far back. What left him in a position to win this race? He describes his day.
But anyway, our race went pretty good. Our car wasn't bad from the start. They made some great adjustments the first pit stop. And then we were pretty good until I got in the wall. We had to come and fix it. And it actually turned out to be some good fortune because the car was just as good, didn't slow the car down. And we had more fuel than everybody. So that last pit stop, they all had to wait to fill their tanks up. And we got our tank full faster. Plus, we had a really good pit stop, and we were able to pass all them guys. And, they put me out front and gave us a chance.
That's it. He was out of sequence when it comes to pit stops, had a little more fuel, did a 2-tire stop, picked up 8 spots, put him into position to win, and he pulled it out.
And I think Clint Boyer had a fast enough car to win, but they had that thing set up for long runs. I don't think they counted on all those yellow flags, and Clint said after the race, restarts really hurt him.
Well, and I totally expected to have all these cautions yesterday. I think a lot of people were worried about, the tire.
Were there 9 of them?
Yeah, 14 record
new
cautions.
records. Record amount of cautions.
And there were 3 in the spring race?
I don't know.
And 2 of them were for debris.
I'm not sure what it was in the spring. I can't remember that, Kevin. But the track record for cautions was 13, so it broke it by 1.
You kind of saw that coming, didn't you?
Yeah, I felt that we did. I mean, just, knowing that the tires were having some issues. Some of the teams were, messing around with the caster camber on the front end and the geometry, trying to get these cars to work a little bit better. The groove is narrow. Guys are and gals, going to move some people out of the way. That's another big story, Danica Patrick, what happened to her. So, yeah, I just figured there'd be a lot of cautions. I didn't think there'd be 14, but I think it made for an exciting race. To be honest with you, I think it's one of the most exciting races we've seen at Kansas Speedway due to the fact we had 14 restarts, double-file restarts, and we all know that's the most exciting thing when it comes to Sprint Cup racing is the restarts.
And what a great job they did repaving this racetrack. In the future, a couple, 3 years down the road with this progressive banking, we're going to see the best races we've ever had.
A lot of people didn't think that, even the drivers going into Friday didn't think there would be 2 grooves, but after watching the Nationwide Series race on Saturday, I thought for sure we were going to get 2 grooves, and we actually saw some drivers get up into that 3rd groove. So the track's going to come in a lot quicker than I think a lot of people were thinking.
All right, how about Clint Boyer? You guys now don't like his chances as well. He picked up 3 points, but, boy, he's still 25 back with 4 races to go. It's going to be tough.
The tough part about it is his competition that he's trying to overhaul are doing as well as he is, but not a whole lot worse. He's got to hope that all 3 of the guys that are ahead of him have a bad day somewhere down the line, and then he's got to do better than 6th, what he had yesterday. He's got to get back up there and win a couple of more races, or at least challenge for wins here in these remaining 4 races, which he could do. He had a car fast enough to win Martinsville.
Average days are not going to help Clint Boyer. He's going to have an exceptional race, these final 3 races, in order to have a chance.
Well, he could have won yesterday and still wouldn't have picked up that much.
Well, again, that's because Jimmy rallied back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the win would have helped him some, but he's got to hope for these 3 guys ahead of him to have more than a bad day. And you have a sense that Jimmy Johnson had his bad day yesterday, and he ends up 9th.
Kevin, I know we're up against the break quickly, but I want to tell you one of the biggest topics that is going right now in NASCAR after yesterday's race is Danica Patrick, Landon Castle. She attempted to take him out after he kind of moved her out of the way, and she went down into turn 1 at 195 miles per hour, gets into the back of Landon Castle, tries to crash him, and only crashes herself. Her crew chief, Greg Zipadelli, who is Tony Stewart's former crew chief, was very upset at her. This is the 2nd time in only 10 starts That is, she has attempted to take somebody else out. She did it in a nationwide series race with Sam Hornish after the checkered flag. She did it yesterday with Landon Castle. She's telling everybody she's trying to earn her respect out there on the racetrack. But the fact is, the way to you earn your respect is going out there and outrunning people, not going out there and when they rub on you, then you retaliate and crash them. If she continues to do what she is doing behind the wheel of this Cup car, her career is going to be very short.
Because she'll just be blackballed or what?
No, because people will start crashing her. The results won't come. Then the sponsor dollars start to get cut back, and eventually they quit coming in at all. And, in fact, GoDaddy announced last week that they are cutting her out of their TV campaign, that they're no longer going to use her during the campaign. They have a new agency over there at GoDaddy.com. So she's got to really get up on the wheel and start performing, because if she doesn't, those dollars are going to be started to get cut back, and if she doesn't perform, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. Seems to me she could lose a lot and still have sponsors and run.
Well, I'm just telling you, the buzz is that she's going to have to start proving herself out on the racetrack right now. And I'm hearing that from all the national media, all the drivers in the pits, crew members. She's going to have to start earning respect out there.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I don't know that means it's just going to dry up for her.
You know what I think is going to happen with her, Kevin? This is what I think.
She'll quit?
No, I don't think she'll quit. What I think, either she'll go back to IndyCar racing at one point, or she'll be a career nationwide series racer. She's proved that she can have good runs over the nationwide series.
Well, I'll tell you what she ought to do, because she's a good driver. She's not a great driver. She's never going to be a great driver. Okay, she won an IndyCar race. I mean, she's got the nicest resume of any female driver ever. Right?
Correct.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Hang it up. Go to the broadcast booth.
I
don't have
agree.
enough women.
I agree.
Go get on ESPN, sit on a set, make $1 million a year talking about racing, and get out of it. That's not going to be hard for her to do.
I think it would be hard for her to do because of her ego.
Well, then that's a whole different issue.
Right.
Okay, great weekend, exciting racing, huge crowd, by the way, huge.
Oh, I
crowd
thought they had a great. The weather just how would anyone ever predict how nice the day it was yesterday? They had a big walk up, not just on Saturday, but Sunday, huge walk up at Kansas Speedway. I thought it turned out to be
78,000 people out there yesterday.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's great. Continues to thrill, and that was a wild race, man. We got a fun chase to the final. That's good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, Kevin, quick plug there. This
Yes,
week,
sir.
starting on Thursday night, Short Track Nationals is one of the biggest sprint car races of the year. I'm lucky enough to be asked to be the host of a paid-per-view event on shorttracknationals.com. We're going to have 8 cameras there. Should be a great deal. $35. You get all 3 nights of the action. You can purchase it for $15 a day. Short Track Nationals from Little Rock I-30 Speedway starting Thursday night. Again, 8 cameras. It's going to be a great broadcast.
What's the website?
shorttracknationals.com.
Okay, not RacinBoys.com. Go to
No,
short-
this is a race that we have broadcast the last 3 years, but because of the pay-per-view broadcast, they'd asked us to not do the broadcast because of the pay-per-view, but they did ask me to come in there and be a part of it, so we appreciate that, and we'll get a lot of love out there for Racing Boys and Sports Radio 810 on that broadcast, but it's going to be a lot of fun. The guys over at Dirt on Dirt, Michael Rigsby and their staff, they're one of the very best when it comes to these pay-per-view broadcasts, and I feel very fortunate to be a part of it.
Okay. Great. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, Kevin. Thank you.
Thanks,
Scott
Kevin.
and Kirk, the Racing Boys, best in the business, had Kansas Speedway covered all weekend long.